Hello, everyone. I once again joined my father for another movie review. Say hi, Dad.
Hi.
Just like last year when we reviewed Yankee Doodle Dandy, here we are once again for another Happy 4th of July movie review. In today's video, we're going to be reviewing Sergeant York with Gary Cooper and directed by Howard Hawks. Is that correct?
That's right.
So what do you think of Sergeant York, Dad?
Well, it was. I really enjoy the movie. It's nostalgic for me because it's something that I watched as a kid.
Really?
With my father and mother, and Gary Cooper is great in the movie, and a lot of it stays pretty close to historical fact.
Right. I'll admit, I don't know much about the actual Sergeant York. I know how accurate the film. It's one of those I do remember watching this when I was a kid at the time when, after watching Gary Cooper in Pride of the Yankees, this was probably maybe the second. I can't remember exactly which particular order I saw each of his films in, but that doesn't matter. That's not the point though. And he does a great job in this film. He was a really great actor, Gary Cooper.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He's a very subtle actor. They used to say, or I remember one of the directors said that when they filmed him, it didn't look like he was changing expression at all.
Right.
When they were viewing him as he was acting. But then when they watched the rushes, you could see all the subtleties in his facial expressions.
Right. I like how he plays a character who was just the first half we see just his life before the war, average everyday person. He was kind of a troublemaker, but then after when being struck by lightning, that was his big epiphany, and he found God in religion.
Right. Yeah, and that was not historically accurate.
Right.
Struck by lightning, but that's
right. It's Hollywood. They got to make it look good,
especially back in those days. They took a lot of dramatic license.
Right. Yes. And then I like how in the second half we see him. Well, he's a conscientious objector, but because of the times, he had no choice but to. He basically what's the word I'm looking for? He despite he was against war and against killing and fighting, but he just wanted to he sort of basically sees it a way to serve his country, make a difference, and
right. And he saw it as a way of potentially saving lives.
Yes, which he does,
and saving the American way of life.
True. Like you said, I don't know how true it is. Was it really 7 to 8 people that were up against?
Yeah, I believe that was true.
Okay, it was.
I think it was only very few, a handful of Americans that captured.
Right.
All of those Germans.
Did you read about Sergeant York after seeing the film when you were a kid, or?
A little bit. I don't remember. No, I didn't read a biography of him or anything like that. But,
right.
I think I may have read some articles on him.
Okay, gotcha. Because at the time when I saw this as a kid, I didn't really think that this was a true story. I just thought this was a fictional, war film. But now I see, okay, this was based on somebody. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I may have to look into read about the real Sergeant York compared to the movie and of course the real life Sergeant York.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard sometimes, when watch a film, you go in blind and not knowing about the true story about somebody. Sometimes when you have no knowledge, this is not something they would teach me in a history class about, or heck, I don't know. Remember, they wouldn't even let me watch this in a history. Not that they wouldn't, but
no, yeah, I don't think I don't know if they teach that or not in history class.
No.
But if you're talking about World War I, it seems like he deserves a place to be mentioned.
Absolutely, he won how many awards again? He got
he won. I mean, he was awarded a lot of different medals.
He was. I thought it was not that this is. I thought it was funny, when he's in the army, going through boot camp, he's meeting new people, making friends and acquaintances. Because he grew up in where was he born again and grew up in exactly in the West, if I'm not mistaken?
No, it was in the South.
Oh, in the South, okay.
I think it was in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I may be wrong about
that. All right,
that,
but anyway, but I thought it was funny when he's explaining about what the one guy's explaining what New York is subways, because he grew up in the South, he wouldn't know what a subway is, and then after the war he finally goes New York City and experiences life. It's a big culture shock for him of not. Mm-hmm. Because he wasn't used to that. He was used to farms, animals, and simple things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I think that could be anyone's when they see a big culture shock when they go anywhere in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about the film? Like, what do you think of the other characters in this film, like his girlfriend and his?
Yeah, well, there's the old reliable Walter Brennan, who was a very popular supporting actor.
Was
in
he
those days.
the same one that was in Pride of the Yankees as?
Yes.
Yeah, because when I'm watching, I'm like, wait a second, why does his voice sound? But he looks a little bit different though, because in Pride of the Yankees he had a mustache, glasses, and looked like a reporter. But in this, he looks like just a regular Southern guy.
Yeah, and he's the preacher, and he owns the store. And,
right.
But he's always gives an interesting characterization.
Yeah, yeah.
And his mother is played by Margaret Wycherley, who's in several movies.
Right. I'm not sure if I've seen her in other stuff, or maybe if I did, I just don't really know who she is. Or...
Yeah, she played the mother of James Cagney in White Heat.
Oh, I did see that, but that's been a while. We got to rewatch that again anyway.
And Joan Leslie was only 16 years old when she played the part of his love interest.
It's amazing. Like nothing happened to her while during the making. Like nothing like what you read about today's like society of like Hollywood scandals.
I don't. There's no indication. That
no, of course not. No. Mm-hmm. But anyway, besides that point, I thought it was funny how like when he first like meets her, it's like love at first sight, and but then like after when he finds God and religion, and at first he was a jealous guy when he saw her with another guy, and at first he was thinking maybe I was like it was wrong of me to have like interfered with like who she wanted to be, but then she then she like gives him a little bit of like saying like don't make decisions based on like who I date and who I And at first I thought, okay, I guess we're going the direction that they're not going to end up together. But no, they really do eventually end up together and stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. But still, I just thought that, I don't know like whether that was just for comedic relief or...
Yeah, it could be. Because a lot, things that were definitely concocted by the writers.
She didn't call him Tanglefoot.
No, she didn't. No. But the whole thing with the turkey, him going gobble gobble and shooting the turkeys, and later on going gobble gobble, and the Germans would pick up their heads and get shot by him.
Right.
I'm sure that's all Hollywood malarkey.
Well, because in the movie they make him look out to be like a great shooter, like he never like missed, which he was.
Right. Yeah, he was a great shooter, but I mean, I don't think he imitated a turkey to get them to pop up out of the what do you call it? Out of the cover.
Right. Just Hollywood comedy relief, like you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are there any other thoughts about the film you want to touch upon that come to mind, or?
Well, I think this was around the time of. It was made during when World War II was going on.
Yes.
And I believe it was before our entrance into the war.
Before Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm. So this was one of those films that was aimed at bringing out the patriotic spirit in the American people. Right.
Just like Yankee Doodle Dandy last year, this movie was another lifting their spirits up at the time. But then again, around the time during World War II, like a lot of like Hollywood studios were making a lot of like war films, especially because they were ordered by the government was ordering the Hollywood studios to make war films at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then again, it was the times, and also it was a big event at that time in like U.S. history, World War II.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. This is, I think, an amazing film. I think Gary Cooper does a great job. It's just, even though it's been a long time since I've seen this, but really rewatch it felt like rewatch it for the first time in my experience. And also, but what's funny is even though I haven't seen this in a long time since I was a little kid, like certain things like popped in my mind that I still like remember that I mentioned earlier, like how. Like I said, like when he like becomes a hero in the war, or how him in the love relationship with what's her name again?
Joan Leslie.
Joan Leslie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's an enjoyable movie. I've seen it many times, and I'm sure I'll watch it many more times, and still enjoy it.
I could definitely see myself going back to rewatch this over and over again for sure. Mm-hmm. I guess that's all. That wraps up today's video. Once again, happy 4th of July. Like the video, subscribe, and salute to our soldiers. Say bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.